When you're working on a product, you know you're supposed to make it user-friendly. But what is that really? And how are you supposed to get it? To answer that question, we'll first look at the user experience of movies. If you go to see a movie and it has A-list actors and great production values, but it also has bad writing and just a bad story, then your overall experience is going to be negative. In order to have a great experience of a movie, all of the pieces have to be well executed. So with user experience in software, the same applies. You need to get all of the components and execute them well in order to give a good experience for your users. So what are the components? First, you have information architecture. That's how people find their way through your product. You have visual design, which is how it looks. And you have copywriting, all the different pieces of text that are in your application. All of this is completely meaningless, though, if you don't have the foundation of understanding your users. I want to talk a bit about information architecture and visual design because those two things are quite different, but they often get confused. Let's think of your software as a house. Your visual design is basically your curb appeal, the first impression that it creates when people walk in. Does it make you say, "Ah, my eyes"? Or do you feel relaxed and pleasant? Your information architecture, on the other hand, is how your house is laid out. So no matter how great your visual design, this is still no place for a toilet. You can actually have good information architecture and not so great visual design and still have a pretty usable product. Craigslist is one example, and Wikipedia is another. Now here's the thing about information architecture, and it's the reason that it often is ignored or underestimated. When it's done well, you don't notice it. You never walk into a house and say, "That's a really good place for a toilet," unless it's in the wrong place and then you notice that it's in the wrong place. The same thing happens with information architecture in your product. So what happens when you get it wrong? Here's what you get. You get a lot of customer support calls from customers saying, "I can't figure out how to create a new expense report. It should be easy." Then you get a user manual that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger because you need to address all of these issues. And then you have your development team that's pulling out their hair saying, "But we put the button right there. They said they wanted the create new expense button, so we put it there. Why can't they see it?" That's when you know you have an information architecture problem. So in the next video, I'm going to tell you how you can get a good information architecture.